back to another recipe, the third and final today. So I made the peas pillar rice earlier and the cauliflower curry. Now we need some bread to go with it. So I've got a lot of roti or chapati videos on the channel, but I think it's really interesting that those types of breads and chapatis, they're being made out of lots of different types of flour in the Indian subcontinent. So this is one of them. This is a wholemeal spelt and rye chapati flour. So it's essentially an atta, but different, not made from wheat. Wholemeal grains of spelt and rye milled and blended to produce a superior and softer chapati, which is naturally lower in gluten and high in fibre. So I don't use oil in a chapati. I don't put salt. I've got enough of that in the curry. So we're going to pour. I want to make about 4. So about 200 gram possibly. And I'm just going to add some water to that. So the trick is to get the water ratio right. So add it slowly, and we want to just stir that water around until it forms a nice ball, and we're going to knead it. And you can see the grains are far more coarser. So the trick to a good chapati is in the resting time, because the resting time helps the water absorb equally, and that's how you get a good chapati. It's all about the resting time and then the temperature of the tawa, etc. So we'll just stir that for a moment. That's the right amount of water. We'll come back in a moment. So once I've got it all mixed, it's time to get in with the hands. Some people do it all by hand, I don't. So that's very, very serially. You put it into a nice ball. I'm just going to dust a work surface now with some more of the flour, and I'm just going to knead this now and work it until we get a little bit more of a stodgier ball. I'll redust the surface just to stop it sticking. So I worked that for about 2 minutes, and now it's pretty firm. So I'm just going to let that rest back into the bowl, put that flour in the bottom. I'm just going to let that rest for 15 minutes, put a cloth over it. It's not going to make much difference, it's so cold in Britain. We'll come back in 15 minutes. So after 15 minutes resting, I'm just going to divide that into 4 equal balls. And once I've done that, I'm going to let them rest for about 5 minutes. So now you can heat your tawa up, and it's time to roll them into disc shapes. I'm about probably 3 millimeters thick. Not going to count, I'm not going to measure it, but that's about right. Start off a little bit more rustic, obviously, so just to allow them to turn into circles more easily, use your hand to start them off, and with a rolling pin I'm just going to roll those out. So like so. Very hard to get the edges smooth, not that you really need to, it's only for presentation, isn't it? So like so. Tawa heating up, we'll go over to the tawa now, and it looks quite exciting and very healthy. So get your tawa nice and hot. And let's see how these turn out. I can't imagine them bubbling up or needing to be flame roasted and puffed up. But we'll have a look. So that's been about 1.5 minutes. It's firmed up quite a bit. Let's turn it over. Okay, so a very different texture to general atta flour. But yeah, looks super healthy. We'll have a look once that's fully cooked. So there it is, cooked both sides. Pretty brittle, stodgy, firm, a little bit crisp on the edge. Definitely not going to puff up. So I'm going to continue with the rest of the 3. Thank you very much for watching.